I've got a picture for you here that I'd love for you to have a look at. It's a bit like a Where's Wally? So the idea is, if you've seen the Where's Wally things, he's got a red and white stripy jumper and a bubble hat, and you have to look at a mixed up picture, and some look quite like him and trick you. Some are just random people and busy scenes, and you have to try and find Wally in it. And this one is Where is Jesus? So I'd like to invite you to take a look and to think, or to try and see where you think Jesus is in this picture. Do you spot him yet? Where do you think he might be? I don't know if you saw Jesus, if you found Jesus. I don't know what you were looking for when you were looking for Jesus. If it was a he, if it was a man, what colour, what his skin, what his hair looked like. What made you think that that was Jesus? What was the defining things that stood out to you as Jesus? Mark 5 takes us to another crowd, and it was where Jesus went across the lake. He got out the boat, and a man with an impure spirit came to him. And Jesus talked to the man and helped the man and freed the man from the demon possession. And he crossed by the lake, and a large crowd gathered, verse 21. One of the synagogue leaders named Jairus came. When he saw Jesus, he fell at his feet. He pleaded earnestly with him. "My little daughter is dying. Please come and put your hands on her, so she will be healed and lived." So Jesus went with him. Out of this crowd of people, somebody pushed through. They were so determined to see Jesus. Out of this crowd, they pushed through because they knew they needed to see Jesus. And Jairus pleaded with him. There was a whole crowd there. I'm sure they weren't all just standing round. I'm sure there were other people asking for things, or hoping for things, or expecting for things. But Jairus pushed through. Maybe he had authority and a position as a synagogue leader, and that's why he got the better route, if you like. But still, he pushed through. And there are times in the crowd when we need to push through. There are times when we are just one of a crowd of people, and we need to push through to Jesus. Because it's not what other people are doing or saying or asking. It's about us needing Jesus. To go to him and say, "I need you, Jesus. I need you to touch and bring life again." Further on in that story, as he's going to Jairus' house, Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Who had done what? Who had touched him? A crowd of people. Jesus kept looking around to see who had touched him. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet, and trembling with fear, told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, Your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. I love that song, Just One Touch from the King. Because sometimes we don't have to hear back from Jesus. We just need to reach out and touch him. We need to be the one in the crowd who is reaching out. It might feel like Jesus, like God is right at the end of your fingers today. It might feel like he's beyond your reach. But I want to tell you that he isn't beyond your reach. Just one touch. She didn't have to say anything. She just needed a touch from the King. And that touch is there for each of us. Reaching out, grasping and having that faith to touch the Saviour, to touch God, and to know that he is going to care about our reaching. Because that was the thing with Jesus. For all the crowds and all the busyness, Jesus didn't even like that. All of those passages that I've read today are followed by Jesus drawing aside, going by himself, finding a quiet space. Some of them were even as he was trying to find a quiet space. He didn't want the crowds and the big noise and the celebrity. He wanted the individual. Jesus didn't value the crowds. He loved the people in them. And that's you and that's me. Whether we need to push through and bring our requests to God, whether we need to reach out and touch Jesus one more time. Maybe we need to be like Zacchaeus and to remember that Jesus knew his name. He didn't just notice a man climbed up a tree to try and see him, but he called out, Zacchaeus, come down, I'm coming to your house. He knew about Zacchaeus. I don't know how. Maybe it was bad reputation. Maybe it was all the terrible things he'd heard. Maybe he'd been pre-warned about this man in this town. And he just happened to fit the description, the auto-fit. But I think it's more than that. Because I think we have a God who loves us individually. Who doesn't look at us just as a big mass of people. Who this morning is seeing exactly where you are. Not the people around you, not the setting that you're in, but to see you, to call your name, to feel your touch, to hear your requests. We have a Saviour who is interested in an audience for one.